Now, I think that we could all really agree here on one major thing about the MCU is the fact that Kevin Feige has been mishandling this thing for quite a number of films and television shows now, and exactly what lies with the future of the Marvel Universe via Disney, Bob Iger, and those high up at the company that are mismanaging everything ranging from the movies to the TV shows, and even the merchandise is suffering as a result of all of these ongoing failures at the, of course, Marvel Universe as a whole. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Kevin Feige that he really does not have a clue about is the fact about how the overall fans that are pushing against Disney are not the minority, but rather the majority. This is something that BRIE LARSON, Kevin Feige, Nia DaCosta, the director of the Marvels, they don't get it. They just don't understand that the overall percentage of the amount of fans that are really just through with what Disney has been putting out there are just done with everything. They're moving on away, and they have serious superhero fatigue, not just for the fact that they're making superhero films, but it's the way that Disney's producing these movies and throwing in all these different agendas and these messages into these actual products. Now, what's interesting about all of this has a lot to do with how Kevin Feige is responding and reacting to everything that has been happening with the Marvel's box office disaster / collapse and the performance, financially speaking. So let's get into all of this. Now, with the Marvels currently in a downward spiral at the box office, one major development has to do with Kevin Feige and his reaction and action against fans after the Marvels' ongoing backlash and criticism rises, with the box office showing no sign of recovery. Now, one thing that Kevin is doing right now is something that the majority of fans will certainly dislike, where Kevin delivered the following to everyone. As a producer here at Marvel Studios, we find the negative word of mouth that our latest film has been receiving as outright offensive and irregular from our customers and common moviegoers. Our goal at Marvel is to not divide, but to unite everyone, and our best approach to that is by embracing diversity, equity, inclusion, and equality into our films and television productions, along with our use of equality at its best. We will be doubling down on these movements to better our products for the future. We couldn't be more excited for Ironheart, Echo, and others that support strong female leads in our projects, and we will continue to make that the norm. What we are doing with the Marvel Universe comes from our best intentions, and we value story and character development over any kind of reported agenda in our films and streaming programs. It's my job to make sure that we have our roadmap organized effectively to cater to everyone in the right time, spread out over the years to evolve and adapt to the times. I find nothing wrong with our story and what Nia was able to provide in the Marvels. I firmly believe the issue that we are dealing with here has much to do with certain percentage of fans that are not ready for change with our current phase and the next, along with what looms beyond our expectations with the Marvel Universe. Now guys, let me just pause here quick. One thing about Kevin Feige is that we gotta remember that this is a man that is very close friends with Kathleen Kennedy. Alright, he is very much close with her, both on a business level and as a personal friend, and this is exactly why you saw the Marvel Universe took a big downturn. Kathleen Kennedy actually encouraged Kevin Feige to do X, Y, and Z with their films, to do this and that with their movies and shows, and it's one of the major reasons why he fully believes in all of these agendas being pushed by Disney. Now, the fact that they are so pretty much dull to the point where they're not taking fan criticism effectively, they're not taking it seriously, and they are now instead doubling down on their usage of DEI, alright? For those of you that don't know what that stands for, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And on top of that, they want to double down on their usage of equality, specifically female-led TV shows and movies, just for the sake of doing it. And we're seeing this rise in the Marvel Universe. We are seeing this pretty much become more common without having a valued story at heart. Even Sony is doing this. We all saw Madam Web, the trailer, and how cringeworthy it really is. I think a lot of fans out there will agree with me that it just looks like a very expensive fan film, and that the dialogue is so out of place where it almost comes across as very subpar. Now, what's interesting about Kevin Feige, though, is the fact that this man really has no clue in the world about where he is as a producer right now. I think that he doesn't really realize that if he keeps pushing out this nonsense and supporting what Disney is doing, that he's only tarnishing his career further, and that he will be pretty much right up there with Kathleen Kennedy, if not worse. So let's get down to the actual, other side of Kevin Feige here. Now, he goes on to conclude, "We take great pride in adapting fan-favorite comics that have not been touched yet, and we look forward to providing everyone with a new and different touch to films like Fantastic Four and Blade. Both films will embrace our usage of DEI effectively to cater to everyone to make these films more relatable to our core audience and our Disney customers." Apart from what Kevin delivered here, however, this is mainly coming directly from the Disney heads, where Kevin is following their demands. However, not by force, but in full agreement with what Disney is doing. Kevin, of course, reportedly holds no issues with the push for DEI in future films, especially after the Marvel's failure itself. Kevin is also the one responsible for encouraging Disney to boost their usage of DEI in the upcoming Fantastic Four film for 2025, where the movie is planned to also divert from its source material on top of that. And look, about diverting from source material, not a good idea, Disney, not a good idea, Marvel. We all saw what happened with Snow White 2025 and how Disney decided to move away from the original 1937 story, and how a lot of Snow White fans and families that support that story were very much boycotting as a response. Now, the thing about Disney is that they just keep doubling down on their agendas, on all of their nonsense with DEI, and how they really have no filter when it comes to pretty much making it clear that they do not care about their core fans, they do not care about their core customers that support these brands like Star Wars, Marvel, and their regular live-action reboots of animated movies, etc. Bob Iger just does not care. And we've seen this market, the stock, for Disney going up and down like a roller coaster, more so of a downward trend for 2023. Yes, it has gone up and down a little bit throughout the month of November, and that's just kind of normal behavior when it comes to stock. It's always going to have some kind of fluctuation. But look at the average. Look at a 5-year span of Disney, and it's not looking good at all. So overall, I would really love to hear what you all have to say about Kevin Feige's outlook on the fans as a response to the Marvel's disaster. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.